Welcome back to Been There Done Chat. I've got a girl on my podcast. I'm so excited. I really hope I shaved my pits. Oh my god. Finally got a girl on my podcast. I think the last time I had a girl was literally episode 1. I'm here today with Aridja Kals. Aridja Kals is a host, presenter, podcaster, go-getter. How are you, girl? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm so happy and humbled to be on your show.
The first time I discovered you, I'd connected with Reveal a week before, rapper, and literally a week later, I think you came up on my podcast because he was on yours, right?
Oh, yeah. I got Reveal on my podcast, yeah.
So I watched you interview him and the sort of questions you were asking, and I really loved your energy. I think that was the main thing that stuck out to me, and the sort of intellectual questions that you asked. And you can see how comfortable, interviewees feel with you. I gave you a follow on Instagram and I subscribed to your YouTube, which everyone should do if they're listening. Of course, go and subscribe. I'll link everything in the description of where you're listening to this. Before this Zoom call, if you follow Aridja on Instagram, you know she posts the most inspirational things on her Instagram story. Really motivating quotes, motivating videos. And one thing right before the new year, or it was just after the new year, you posted your vision board on your story. Do you remember that? And before this Zoom call, we were kind of briefly talking about that. And I wanted to say, I was a little bit worried when you posted that because of like Evil Eye. And right before we started the Zoom, you were actually talking about that in a really inspirational way. And I was like, hold it, I want to put that in my podcast because I think that would help so many people. So what was your response to, putting out your goals before they happen and your vision board on your story?
So yeah, in terms of the vision board and Evil Eye and things like that and bad karma, I completely understand that. And that's the way of thinking that I had before a week ago. If anything, I'm still battling with that mentality. But I truly, truly believe what you believe is what you get. So if you do believe in Evil Eye and you do believe in bad karma, then essentially that's what you may get if you showcase your vision board like I did publicly. But if you truly believe in yourself, and I'm not saying people that believe in Evil Eye don't believe in a higher power, but if you believe in a higher power, believe in yourself, and you believe that the higher power is for you, and if the higher power is for you, nothing can be against you, then what's the problem of putting out your vision boards and your dreams and things like that? Like, I truly believe it's a mindset thing, and it's an energy and a spiritual thing. So I believe it's either the negative will attract the negative thought and circumstance, or the positive thought will attract the positive circumstance, literally, simply put.
So I see. So it's basically just the power of the mind. Whatever you believe.
It's the power of the mind.
Yeah.
And it's the energy that you exuberate.
Of course, 100%. So to anybody out there, don't feel afraid to, put out things before you achieve them, just because, as long as you've got the right mentality, right?
Exactly. And I was also going to say, it's your intention. Because if you're doing it to show off and you're doing it for a negative attention, then obviously you might still attract that negative circumstance. But if your intention is to inspire and to help and to motivate people, because I'm motivating people throughout my journey, because people that know me, they know where I've been, and it's been a dark past. Do you know what I mean? But now they can see the transformation. The fact that I do have a vision board is so important, to have a vision board, to have something that you're looking towards. So if I can be, a help or an influence, then why wouldn't it go well?
That is beautiful. That is lovely.
Yeah.
So like I mentioned, you are a podcast host, presenter, creative. Did you always know you wanted to be a presenter in the kind of media field? And if not, when was the first time you sort of thought, this is for me?
That's the thing. So I did drama initially when I was 14, when I was in year 9. That's when I started. Well, I did it throughout secondary, but I started taking it seriously and found my passion in year 9. Yeah, and I got standing ovation. You're amazing. Like at A levels, it was like, wow, like, do you know what I mean? And that solidified my feeling that I had of the whole being in front of a light and a camera. So I knew that. But one thing that happened was I got a bit muddled up with who I was, because you have to put on a character. So I lost myself in that translation. A bit of a deep story. I don't want to go too into it because it's quite something that I want to leave in the past.
No, of course.
But it got lost in translation. And I vowed to myself that if I am in front of the camera, which I still will be, because I'm still going to go for my dreams. Obviously, I was a bit deflated at first, but I got up and I thought, lights, camera is my thing. That's where my energy resides. So I said to myself, if I am going to be in front of the camera, I'm going to be authentic. I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to be a real person. So that's where presenting came in. I started seeing presenters and people saying, if you want to be a presenter, just be yourself. YouTube was like, be you. It's all about being you. And when I heard that, I was like, what? So you're telling me I can be in front of a camera, in front of lights, do what I love, and be me and not have to take on a character, perfect combination. So I thought, let me jump on that bandwagon and do my thing. I can still be me and have the camera on me and impact an audience, essentially.
So are you talking in terms of acting? You thought presenting's more you rather than acting because you can just be yourself and you don't have to play another character.
Exactly.
Right,
I love acting, and I think acting is amazing. It's a great profession. It's such a skill. I'm not shunning it. I'm just saying for me, it wasn't for me.
No, fair enough. So did you continued to A-level, didn't you, as well?
Yeah, and to the point where my teacher sat me down and was like, this ain't for you. Go and try something else. Go and try a different course. Because she even felt my energy. She felt and she saw that it just wasn't aligning with me.
Oh, so she didn't say it in a negative way. She just saw it as though there's something missing that you're not feeling. So
exactly.
Right, I see. And that really stuck with you.
Yeah, that made me make my decision, because I knew in my heart that this wasn't for me, but I wasn't listening to God. I was listening to, this is what I love to do. Why isn't it for me, God? Why are you being against me? But my teacher sat me down, and from then I made the decision. Because sometimes God can tell you, and although obviously God is amazing, but sometimes it takes him to speak through people to wake you up. And then you make the decision because it's more physical. It's more in your face. Do you know what I mean? So,
right, I see.
And then I thought, let me do something else. So that's when I studied journalism and media at university.
Yeah.
And went into that.
And speaking of university, I don't think many people know this, but you actually joined student radio. And on student radio, you were actually one of the first people to interview Stormzy.
Karima, I milk that every single day. Wherever I am, you need to know I was one of the first people to interview Stormzy. Okay?
No, that is a flex. He is huge now. That is a flex. It is, of course. Rinse it as much as you can. Oh my God. How did that come about?
So there was this guy that was at the university. And
sorry to interrupt. What university did you attend?
The Montfort University in Leicester.
Right, got you.
And they're all about the media, aren't they? So that's their forte. So I was in the class with this guy, and he knew that I was doing student radio, and we were just talking, and he was like, oh, I know Stormzy, by the way, I can get you to talk to him. He came up with it, he offered. And I was like, yeah. And that's when he was just coming up. So he was doing his song Know Me From, and it was changing the face of crime.
Back in the day.
2015. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's when he was just like making a name for himself. And I was like, yeah, I know him. Yeah, get him on. He gave my number to, something happened. We exchanged numbers. I don't have his number now, but there was an exchange of numbers or contacts or something. And and then he came on, and it was a phone interview. And then it was me and my co-host and my producer. And we were all students, by the way, and cameramen as well, all students. We just came together, was like, this is big. And then, we just made it happen on the Urban Show. Like, we were talking to him about grime, about changing the face of grime, about any rivals that he has in grime, any achievements that he's made, just general conversation. And it was just like bouncing one after the other, and it was so good. And it's on my YouTube channel if you guys want to have a peek.
Of course. I'll link that below. That is incredible. I watched that last night again for like the third time.
Oh, thank you.
What made you choose student radio? Was that just you following your passion?
Definitely following my passion. I thought, if I'm going to get into a society, it's going to have to be media.
No, of course.
So I got into the student radio. Yeah, did you?
Yeah, of course. I think I went to Manchester, and literally one of the main reasons why I went there as well is because of their TV and radio station. I just thought I had to do it, but I was too scared actually to do it in first year, and then second year was COVID, obviously, and then third year I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to go, because I completely lost myself. I think everybody has that in them. They lose themselves at one stage, and that's kind of like a realization of, no, I need to go and follow my hobby or whatever it is.
Existential crisis or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Or just like an awakening or something.
Yeah, something. Everyone goes through that.
No, of course, you have to, but you just have to pick yourself back up, don't you?
Exactly.
Another thing I was going to say with the Stormzy thing, that was an opportunity that came to you. I really believe in when you really want something, of course you have to go out and get it, but also opportunities come to you. 100%.
That's what some people don't realize. Like, when you have a vision board, when you have a vision in mind and you visualize or whatever it is, but you know your end result, somehow you can call it the universe. Personally, I believe in God. He makes a way. You attract opportunities. They come to you. They fall in your lap. They feel so bliss, and you have to take. But that's when you need to take that inspired action. But some other things as well, you have to create the opportunity. You need to take action and apply, or at least have the intention. And then it all falls in place. So yeah, you're completely correct.
No, of course. So that was like your university. What happened after university? Did you carry on with media?
That's the thing. After university, and I think a lot of graduates can attest to this and relate to it, I got in a rut.
Okay.
I followed the wrong people, drugs, recreational drugs, just things that weren't of benefit to me
Mm.
mentally. Yeah, just a really dark past. And then I got into teaching to try and change my ways and, start up again.
Mm.
Because teaching also involves a bit of presenting, doesn't it? Because you're
Yeah,
presenting the work for children, you're impacting an audience, you're helping people.
of course.
So I do, and I have enjoyed that. Great, children are lovely, staff are lovely. But the only thing about the teaching realm and working in a school is that once you're in it, it's so hard to come out of it. It's so
Really?
comfortable. Yes.
Because of the
it's
comfort.
it's so comfortable, Garima. Like, because it's challenging, but it's relatively easy, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Obviously, you have to deal with challenging behavior, and you've got a huge responsibility taking care of the kids' health and safety. But at the same time, it's so fun because there's so many new things that pop up in the day, and your routine, the people. It's just so comforting. And I'm not a person of comfort. I believe that
Right.
if you stick in your comfort zone, you're not growing. And if you're not growing, you're dying. I know it's harsh, but
Right.
that's the reality of things.
Mm.
So my motto for this year was, and still is, and will be for the rest of my life, is to embrace discomfort. And I don't mean that in a negative way, that you need to be uncomfortable and not do what you want. You are doing what you want, but you're going above and beyond to pursue it even more. For
Mm.
example, next week, Wednesday, I'm on stage hosting. I've never hosted before.
Amazing.
Do you know what I
Amazing.
mean?
Yeah.
I'm scared,
That's you
but
going
I'm
outside your
doing it.
comfort zone because that's the only way you're going to grow, isn't it?
That's what I'm
You are
saying.
not going to
Like,
grow without being in your comfort zone. I've got a massive fear of public speaking as well.
mhm.
Do you have a fear of public speaking?
I wouldn't say it's a fear
No,
because
no,
I'm
sorry, because you've
excited,
always been on
but
the stage, right? Sorry, I shouldn't have just.
no, it's
No, no,
fine.
no, no,
It's
yeah.
fine.
I've
It's
had like
fine.
a
Yeah.
huge fear of public speaking, but I will never shut it down because how am I going to grow? How am I going to conquer that fear? Yes, it's scary in the moment, but in the long run, I'm going to be so proud of it. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Sorry, what were you teaching in again?
So I taught in a primary school, and it was
Oh,
just the general curriculum. So I
okay,
was just,
yes. Bit of
I wasn't a
everything.
teacher, I was a TA, teaching
Okay, right.
assistant.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
So how did you kind of weave your way back into presenting? When was the kind of light bulb moment of no, 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 like you said, like I need to be outside my comfort zone. This is not okay.
Garima, I feel like if you have a love and a passion for something, it will always find you.
Right.
Like, it will come back to you. Like, I
Mm.
picked up the camera, I said, why am I coming home after work, going gym, coming home and doing nothing? I want the camera. I picked up my camera, I went back on YouTube after leaving it dormant for a year. I picked it up, I went back onto it, and then I thought, this is what I want. And I thought, what can I do? Because I kept on researching how to be a great YouTuber. What do you have to do? And every YouTuber was telling me, every YouTube specialist was saying, you need a niche, you need a niche. And when they say that, it's so a bit daunting because you're like, what niche? Like, I don't know what I really want to do on YouTube. All I know is I want to speak. And then a thought popped into my head. That's the thing about having an intention. Because if you're having an intention, a niche, and that's in your vision, it will pop into your head. And then it was like, talk to people. And I thought of this before, speaking with people, interviewing people, having conversations, but I never did it because I didn't know how. How am I going to get people? How am I going to get a studio? Am I going to do it in my house? What am I going to do? And then get a studio. That thought popped in my head. You're working, use that money for a studio, go to networking events, find creatives and entrepreneurs to come onto your show, talk to people that you already know that's around you. Most of the people in my episodes up until now have been family and friends that are doing big things. Do you know what I mean? So there's no limit. If you open up your mind, you will be so amazed as to what comes to it and what direction you'll have. So yeah, I picked up the camera, went back on YouTube, and then I said, let me converse with people, started a podcast, rented out a studio, got people on, and now the reception is amazing. But I also thought about the concept as well, and I spoke to people before I started for their advice, people that I could trust that are knowledgeable. So my cousin told me, wait 3 weeks. I was like, girl, I love you, but I love this a bit more. Not, oh, that came out wrong. I love you, but I also love this.
No,
I
of
love my
course, of course.
family.
No, of course, of course.
And then I waited 10 days, but I was agitated. I was like, I need to do this. I just did it. I got my brother on. He's a football manager. He's a rapper. We did it. Like, we just did the whole
Amazing.
conversation.
So how did the
Yeah.
Aridja Kals show come about? So you started your YouTube first, obviously.
Yeah.
And then from that, you were like, I need to start a podcast. How did that thought come in? How did you start that?
That's the thing. Sometimes I sound so mystical in that, but sometimes the specific thing doesn't fall into your head. Sometimes it's the journey and the development, and then everything just comes to play. And you're like, oh, this is a podcast. Oh, then if it's a podcast, then put it on Spotify. Oh, if it's on Spotify, then let me promote it and market it. Oh, if I'm promoting and marketing it. Let me try and promote it to the BBC. Oh, let me get on the BBC. Now I'm on the BBC. Okay, now it just, they say, Martin Luther King said, take the first step. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Take the first step and everything else will just align.
Do you know the hardest part is starting? Once you've started,
trust me.
Once you've started, it's so easy. Do you know how long it took me to release my first ever podcast episode?
How long?
So I'd say months and months and months. And even just because I was like, no, I need to get the logo perfect. I need to get, the editing perfect. I need to do this. I need to do that. Just start. That will fall into place. I've changed my logo a few times. I want to change it a little bit more.
I love your thumbnails, by the way.
Do you?
No, honestly, they're really good.
Thank you so much. So even with that just takes, sometimes it will take me hours and hours just to do a thumbnail. I save like 50 until I've got one.
It shows.
Oh, thank you. But I think definitely the starting part, I was taking age. All my friends were like, just upload it. Come on, what are you doing? Why are you waiting around? I was like, no, but I need to have this. I need to have that. I think starting is just the hardest part. Once you've started, everything falls into place. And don't ever afraid of changing as you go along. What's really nice is that you can see your growth. So if I look at episode 1 and my awful intro and outro music, it was so bad. I got rid of that as soon as I could. It's nice to see the kind of progress. Like I said, I describe you as a go-getter. I think that is one of the perfect ways to sum you up, to be honest, because I see you on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and you just grab every opportunity as it comes. Or like you said earlier, you make it for yourself. So you took yourself to the MOBO Awards. I know you've also been to the Disney or Nickelodeon Awards. I know that was on your baby. But, you kind of, especially with the MOBO Awards, how did you think about going on to that, and what did you think you'd gain out of that as well?
Do you know what? I'm up for networking. Like, I'll literally go on Eventbrite every weekend. Okay, that's a bit of a stretch, but most weekends, and I'll be like, creative events for upcoming talent or whatever, and I'll go to it. I'll bring my sister along. I like to be an inspiration to my sister, sort of someone who she look up to. So I bring her along. I try to get her exposed to new environments and opportunities, to understand that you don't necessarily have to be a typical teenager that just follows the crowd or gets with the wrong crowd. You can advance from now. It's about who you are. It's not about your age. Do you know what I mean? And the talent and what you've got to bring value to the world. So I take her along. And then I thought, the MOBO is coming up. I literally didn't have money, Garima. Here I go. But I literally didn't have the money. I just said, I was on an overdraft. I just said, let's go, because this is going to be an opportunity to network and to meet people. I didn't go VIP. VIP would have been better to mingle with the stars. Well, I say the stars, but for me, they're ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So yeah, it would be lovely to mingle with them. But I thought, let me just get myself in the vicinity of them. Let me see them face to face, to see that they are normal people like us, Garima. They bleed, they poop, they blow their nose. The only difference is their mindset. Do you know what I'm saying? So when I got there and I saw them in the flesh, I was like, y'all are ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Like, there's no difference between me and you. I can be there. Do you know what I mean? I can be on that stage hosting like Chunks and Philly did, which is amazing what they did, by the way. I love them.
Amazing.
And the other presenter that did, I forgot her name now, but she's amazing as well. So yeah, and then I thought, but let me just, even if the people that I'm sitting next to have the same mindset, they're people that want to get out of the comfort zone and go to attend award shows like this. You never know who you're going to meet. I didn't necessarily meet anyone, but the experience was phenomenal. So that was my thought process of going to the MOBO to network and to be in the vicinity of them, because I feel like energy is everything. If I can sort of feel their energy, it can make me think this is real for me too.
Yes,
do you know what I mean?
Of course. Do you know, I completely relate. I took one of my best friends to, Don't Hate the Players.
Okay.
So I went to the recording of that in like early September. I went to the recording.
Amazing.
So it was incredible. And I felt exactly the same. I just said, because obviously Maya Jam is there, who is, oh my gosh, she is stunning in real life. Beautiful.
Is she? She's a pretty girl. Beautiful. Pretty woman.
Even Jordan Stevens, he was there. Tiffany Calver, Harry Pinero, Youngin, Lady Leisha.
Lady Leisha. I love Lady Leisha.
The winner of last year's Britain's Got Talent was there as well. Like you said, they're literally just ordinary people with extraordinary lives. I think you summed it up perfectly. I think that's also what your podcast is about, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's the motto of my podcast. That's the slogan. So ordinary people, extraordinary lives. So I'm sure Garima will link it.
Of course, you joke.
So I speak to emerging creators and entrepreneurs. I give those who haven't yet made it a platform to make it. I want to know their stories. I want to know their opinions on mental health. I want to know what their family think of what they're doing, because they're branching out. They don't want to work the ordinary 9 to 5, which there's nothing wrong with it. Another disclaimer, because I don't want people to get coming up, but they want to venture into something new, something different, something extraordinary. So that's what I talk about with them. And then the whole point of it is for the audience to be impacted in a sense where they feel like, wow, if that person who's like me, who's from ends, who's my skin color, who's doing this, is doing it, then let me pick up that pen, let me pick up that mic, let me pick up that camera, let me pick up that pencil. Whatever it is that's creative and entrepreneurial, just do it. Because I have this thing where I don't like saying life is short, because that's morbid and a bit negative, because I believe we can and will live a long life. So I like to say life is precious. So life is too precious not to just go forth and start and live your dreams. And so the people that I speak to are examples of this, and hopefully good examples for the audience. And obviously, even though that's the whole notion of it, I also want to develop my skills as well as a presenter. I want to be more of a fluent speaker. I want to be more of a captivating speaker. I want to draw information from my guests that they didn't even know that they had of themselves. So even if I can do an Oprah and make people cry because they're so emotional with the release of a therapeutic release, like anything, I just want to become a better person as well overall. And I think that's why not only do I focus on what I'm doing, I did focus on who I'm becoming. And I think that's where a lot of people get it wrong, because they go for, let me start that business, then I'm going to be the entrepreneur. Let me pick up that pencil, then I'm going to be the good artist. No, that's backwards. And this is what my coach says. So my coach, Peter Sage, I would at him, because it's not just from me, but you need to become that person before you have it. There's a principle called be, do, have. So that is, I am that entrepreneur, so I'm starting this business. I am that singer, so I'm picking up the mic. So yeah, that's the whole notion of that. So what I do is that I delve into self-development and self-mastery. Once again, on an overdraft, I do not condone this, but I bought a program about self-mastery, fixing your money mindset, emotional mastery, managing your emotions, because you need to know that your feeling drives your life. If you're feeling in a rut, your whole day goes like that. If you're feeling optimistic and happy, you're going to attract opportunities in time. Very soon, you're going to attract opportunities. Your mindset, what are you visualizing? Are you thinking about your past and all your downfalls all the time? Because that's what is going to happen in your life, rotatingness of it all. But if you're thinking about your future and you're envisioning yourself in the best possible way, your health, your money, your goals, your relationships, you're going to be attracting that. You're going to be going towards that. And you don't need a spiritualist or a rocket scientist to tell you this. So focus on who you are becoming. The reason why I'm so successful, I will say it, I'm so successful now.
Yes, of course.
And I'm getting all these opportunities. Thank you very much.
Of course.
And so are you.
Thank you.
The reason why we are so successful now is because we're becoming, do you know what I mean? We're becoming the best version of ourselves. So keep that in mind, because trust me, you can do something and then just leave it in the back burner and be like, this is not working for me. Oh, I'm rubbish at this, because your mind's not right. But once your mind and your heart and your feelings are correct, the world's your oyster. So
I've been so ill, right? So I'm really dehydrated, but I'm a crier. I can feel my body wanting to cry, but there's no water coming out my eyes. But that really touched me. That is
Garima, no, you're fine.
That was beautiful, what you just said. So inspirational. Oh my gosh. So
you're most welcome.
Thank you so much. I was gonna say, like you said, you are so successful. And recently, I think literally just a couple of days ago, you were invited to BBC Radio London. How did that come about? And what was that experience like? I was so proud of you. I watched your entire vlog and you're amazing.
Oh, thank you. So what happened was I created a pitch, and that pitch was just me saying, promote my show, telling the media outlets, put me on, like, commission the show. It's an amazing concept. Like, I'm ready for this. Yes, I haven't got that many episodes, but I can do this. Like, I've got God on my side. And then I thought, let me send it to Stephen Bartlett, Angie Martinez, all the way in America, in New York. Let me send it to BBC Audio Lab, BBC Sound. And then when I was on my laptop trying to find out an email address of who I can send it to, something popped up, BBC Upload. And I was like, what's this? I pressed on it on Google search and it came up with the Facebook page. And then I uploaded, I don't know if you know that video of me just explaining about my podcast. It's me wearing a black top.
Yeah.
In the studio.
It's pinned on your Instagram, isn't it? And TikTok.
Yeah, it's pinned. So I just uploaded that, and it said, okay, wait for us. The email will be back saying, well, wait for us to send you an email. It's like an automated email. Wait for us to send you an email. And then I just left it. I was like, cool. but I believed in myself. And then 2 days later, not even an email, Garima, not even an email, a straight up call. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. So was that the call that you put on your Instagram? It was that call?
Yeah. Straight up call.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow, that is incredible. That is
I
incredible.
know.
Yeah, go carry on. I want to hear. Go.
So Alice Dale, she's a presenter on BBC Radio
Yeah,
London,
I know
and she's a go-getter as well because she actually pitched herself to get that job, I think. So she's a go-getter and she's so lovely. She's the type to be like, girl,
Yeah,
I love it.
I love that. I love that.
I love it. She makes me laugh. So yeah, she called me and she was like, oh, I just love it. Like, you need to come on. Can you come on tonight at 9 o'clock?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So if you had plans last night, you had to be like, no, ban that. I'm going to BBC Radio 1.
That's what
Sorry,
I'm saying.
BBC Radio London.
Also, exactly. And also, she called me at 10:40 a.m. So imagine I quit my job last half term 3 weeks before that. Imagine if I was at work, it would have been a bit more of a rush. It would have been a bit more. That's why I had to quit my job, Garima, because I need to focus tunnel vision on this. So I'm not saying quit your job. I'm saying just know wherever your heart is leading you, follow that. Right. So I said, yes. She said, oh, it's fine. You can either do a phone call if you can't come down. I was like, I'm coming down. Like, I was on it. So Garima, I'm posting something as well, maybe tonight or tomorrow, about me getting ready. I got my hair cut. Once again, not much money. Got my hair cut, cleaned my nails, bought new clothes. My sister was like, before you pick out the clothes, let me know, because she knows her style is better than mine. And she's only 17.
Oh, bless
her. And I'm 29. Yeah, and I listened to my little sister for clothes advice, but it is what it is. So I just got myself made up, like eyebrows,
all before 9. So obviously the call was at 10:40. So from the time that call ended up until 9 p.m, this is what you were doing. You were getting yourself ready. Oh, I love that. I wish I could watch this all happening. Quickly get my nails, quickly get my makeup.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna post a reel on my Instagram.
Oh, you've vlogged it. You've vlogged it.
Yeah? I vlog everything.
Oh yeah, good. No, as you should.
Because one day I'm gonna write a book and I'm gonna have a documentary. So
yeah,
you have to vlog and write down your thoughts and feelings. You just have to believe it.
I wanted to ask you about your 9 to 5. So obviously, right after university, you went into teaching, which was your 9 to 5, right? So was that what you were doing up until a few weeks ago when you quit?
I was doing it for 4 years,
right?
But 3 years, well, you could say 2 years on and off, because I was with an agency, on and off-ish. And then I did like the whole year's contract with the school. But it's funny because I've never finished a whole academic year. I'm not saying it because I'm better than anyone. It's just that my heart has never been too content to stay in one place. I want freedom. Like, I want excitingness. I'm making up words, but I want exciting ways of living. So I've never really stayed at a job for longer than a few months. Like, I just seek something a bit more. And I think this is what the camera and the lights and presenting and talking to lovely people like yourself, that's what it does. So I spoke to my cousin, who is you think I'm uplifting, she's amazing. Aww. Shout out to Brenda.
So it runs in the family. It runs in the family.
Trust me.
Love that. Love that.
So she taught me something that she read in the book. She said, no, don't hate your 9 to 5. See it as your investor. So now they're my investors. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say I've completely left my 9 to 5. I still work out of school 2 days a week because I need the money to fund my studio. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for the money that it gives me. But all I'm going to say is that there's opportunities out there. You can make money, much more money, doing what you love. And you don't have to be a celebrity. Right. You just have to open your mind to that, because there's an opportunity there for me that's paying me what? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I'm just doing what I love. Do you know what I mean? So that can still happen. So you don't necessarily have to go back to working part-time. But for me, I just still need that shift of mindset that makes me feel like, I can actually do what I love and still make money while I'm out of my 9 to 5.
So basically, you do it part-time now because obviously, it gives you that stability and, you use that to fund your studio and everything. But at the same time, it's probably given you a lot more time now as well, hasn't it?
I've got time to network. I've got time to sleep. One thing I have to say, sleep is so important. If you're an adult, even if you're like, I think it's 17 to above, minimum, I'd say minimum 8 hours. I say average 9 hours sleep.
I need 9 to 10. I'm not even joking.
Trust
and also,
me.
do you know what I learned recently? Girls actually need more sleep than boys.
Videos, editing, I've got more time to just do what I love. And yet I still get the money, which I'm grateful for, from work. So every week, because it's an agency. So
What would you say to someone who wants to get in the creative field or wants to work on some sort of a side hustle? It doesn't have to be creative, and they are in a 9 to 5, but they don't have the means maybe to quit, or they don't feel as though, you know, they might have outstanding debt or something that the 9 to 5 gives them comfort, obviously, and maybe gives them opportunities in other ways, but they do want to have their side hustle. What would you recommend to them to kind of still work on their side hustle regardless of the 9 to 5?
that's a very good question. And I have to say, it's so much easier for me. I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. I still live at home. I pay a bit of rent. I help my mum with a bit. So I don't have children yet. Like, I don't even have a boyfriend yet. So I'm at a very, very good position, and I understand that I'm benefiting. So it's very hard for me to talk for other people who have rent, who have a husband, who have 3, 4 kids, who need that 9 to 5 to put food on the table. So I don't want to come across insensitive. So it's really hard for me to navigate this question. But one thing I would say, and one thing that I know for sure, and I know people might not like this answer, and it's really annoying, but I'm telling you, this thing is a machine. It's the most powerful. It's more powerful than computers. It creates computers. It creates robots. So therefore, it can create your life and your future.
By the way, for those of you who are listening, she pointed to her brain, like her head.
Yeah, my brain, my head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot this. Is
No.
I'm sorry to say this. I know it's a harsh answer, but if you really, really want something, there's no I'm too busy. There's no I have to. You will do it
because you will time.
Prioritize that.
Right.
And there's this thing that we have in our brain called the RAS, the reticular activated system. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Look at you coming with the science. We love it. Girls in STEM and that. Girls in STEM.
Honestly, I learned this from my coach. So what it is that, I'll give you an example. Have you ever bought a coat or bought something or bought a car and you never really saw it around before, but all of a sudden you step out and you see people wearing your shoes that you bought, the new shoe that you bought, or the car that you're driving, the new car
you see it everywhere.
Like, the thing is, Garima, it's not that, and I'm going to relate this to my coach and give him all the at my coach Peter Sage and all the self-development people that I've listened to, because this is not my knowledge, this is knowledge that I've gained. But it's not the fact that these things haven't been there. They've always been there. It's just like your mind and your brain is now open to these new possibilities and opportunities, and you can see it more clearly because your RAS in your brain is like, oh, look, this is important to you. That's what you're telling. You're telling your brain that this new shoe that you're focusing on is more important to you. So your brain is saying, okay, I want to show you more things that align with that.
I see.
And then all of a sudden you can see it more, and it's more in your presence and your grasp. And that can work same with your opportunities. If you vision where you want to be, just the end goal, no obstacles in between, just the end goal, and you have that in your mind and you're focusing on your vision, and that vision board, that's why vision board helps. Writing things down also helps. You're focusing on that. Trust me, opportunities, possibilities will come your way. They'll fall in your lap, like we said before, or it will be, you have to take inspired action for you to grab it. Trust me, keep that vision and it will all work well. You don't have to see the whole staircase, like Martin Luther King said. Once I quote again, you just have to take the first step. So, and start with your mind and start with that little action.
And trust the process.
And trust the process. Or in a practical way, I don't know, put aside 5 minutes to write down your goals, or 5 minutes to actually go forth and make a 5-minute YouTube vid, or just that little 5 minutes that you can have, like when the kids are asleep or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Or if you want to lose weight, like, go out for a walk instead of going to the corner shop with your car. Walk the distance. What I'm trying to say is that they're little increments of habits, because it's also about your habits and the systems that you put in place, not just thinking about it. So the little things that you're doing practically, it will all add up. Do you know what I mean? And
so you're basically saying, like, in every decision you make in life, make it towards your goal.
Yeah.
So like
in mind and in action.
Right.
And especially in feeling as well. Oh, I'm gonna go deep, but
no, go.
Like, I'm not necessarily a spiritual person. I kind of am. I'm a faith person. I believe in God. I believe in faith.
Yeah.
But guys, one thing that got me my opportunity is the feeling of gratitude. When you are grateful for what you already have,
of course,
and you don't see it in a lack mindset, which is going to take time, and that's okay. But you're focusing on being grateful, so that's what's important. Focus on being grateful. And joy, whatever makes you joy, whether it's your pet, whether it's your little baby, whether it's your, whatever it is, what you do, whether it's YouTube, that could give you joy. Focus on whatever that's giving you joy. Trust me, you're going to get more things to feel joy about.
I was going to say, I can definitely feel, that was actually one of my points. I was going to talk about being grateful, because that is probably one of the main things I can sense via your social medias. You always say thank you. You always say thank you to your followers. You always talk about, you know, things that you've achieved, and you always sound so grateful, which I think is so important. Because do you know one thing? So for example, my dream uni was University of Manchester, right? I've graduated now. I don't really think about it. I just think, okay, now I want this, now I want that, whatever it is. But there was a point where younger Garima wanted to go to that uni, and I did it, and I actually achieved something I wanted to do, but I forgot about it, because you just think of the next thing. You have to be grateful and remember that a younger version of yourself wanted what you have now, or what you're doing right now.
Exactly. You said so it. You said it great. So that's so important, and congratulations on that as well.
Oh, thank you so much. Because I was watching. Obviously, you watched and listened to the Diary of a CEO as well. He hit 1 million subscribers, which is
I know,
amazing.
I know. I'm so happy for him.
I'm so proud of him. Stephen Bartlett. He's just absolutely adore him. He seems like a lovely person as well. So inspiring. So lovely.
Yeah, and he's really confident in himself, which some people will say, because I saw this TikTok mocking him like he's cocky. He's not cocky. No, he's just confident. There's a difference.
And I think it's good to talk nice about yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like you shouldn't just leave that to other people, or you should believe that in yourself. We compliment our friends and family and, you know, partners so much. Why don't we do that to ourselves? You always have to back yourself. At the end of the day, to be honest, it's kind of harsh, but at the end of the day, no one has got you like you. No one knows what goes in your head apart from you. No one knows the sort of person you are. And especially someone like me who's quite sensitive. I've learned to like not care too much about what maybe people outside my really close circle think too much, because I'm like, no, but I know I'm a kind person. Why does this person think? People will think what they want to think. You just have to know who you are and just back yourself always.
Exactly.
But yeah, as Stephen was saying, I think with the gratitude stuff, he was recently saying on a podcast or a talk somewhere, he was talking, obviously he flies first class. I'm on his Telegram actually. Are you on that? Join it.
Telegram?
Yeah. It's like basically a huge group chat. I'll send you the link. But basically he talked on that. He was like, now he travels basically 56 times a year, so you know, more than once a week or something like that, and he travels first class. And you know, when he first joined, he was like, oh my god, this is amazing, like this thing in the sky, you know, it's taking me, I get a glass of champagne, all of that stuff. But now obviously, because he's so used to it now, it's an expectation, isn't it? So he gets on the plane, he opens up his laptop, he's like doing his work or whatever, and then one day he saw a lady next to him next to the aisle, and she was mesmerized by first class. She was like, oh my god, I get all this room, I get this champagne. And he was staring at her and he was like, where did I lose that part of me? Because I was like that once, but now it's become an expectation. But there was one point when I was growing up that this was like a dream, and now I'm experiencing that dream. You always have to be grateful and remember that, because I think, you know, people forget that, and it's nice to look back on, isn't it?
Exactly. That's an amazing story from Stephen Bartlett, and he said it really well, because it's true. Like, you need to, that inner child, you need to keep connected with that, because children are amazing. Like, I feel like the reason why they're such visionaries and they're so imaginative in terms of what they do and they think and how they play is because they're closer to God than we are, because, you know, they just came from God. And I feel like the way that they have no limits to their thinking is the same way we need to feel. And obviously we get conformed in society and school and different parents, and we get
fears, people saying you can't do it, fears as well, rejections.
Do you know what I mean?
But when you're a child, you don't have that.
Exactly. So just like Stephen Bartlett, that woman, she was connected to her inner child, and Stephen Bartlett lost that. But it's so important to stay connected to it. In other words, have gratitude, be joyful, you know, have love. Love is the most powerful force in the world. So and that will get you where you need to be. I'm telling you, and I'm saying this from experience.
No, of course. I just absolutely adore Stephen. I love the fact that he's got such an open mindset as well. Like, every guest he has on, he's always open to opposing views. He doesn't, you know,
he doesn't judge.
He
I just realised that as well.
Never ever judges. Like, he has, you know, people on the left, people on the right. He's got everybody on there. He's just so open to discussion, and he's a go-getter, and, you know, I just absolutely love his mindset. I think he's very self-aware as well. He's always just wanting to grow, and I think that's so important. I was going to ask you, who is probably, you know, you've been to the MOBO Awards, you've interviewed Stormzy, you've also interviewed Paige Keiki, haven't you?
I think
you mentioned that. So you've interviewed all these big celebs and people. Who would you say is probably the most influential person you've met, or maybe somebody that you know online who's probably inspired you a lot?
I think one of the people is my coach, Peter Sage. I say my coach, but I've got him on Instagram. Sometimes he replies, and sometimes I'm in his program, of self-mastery. So I say my coach, Peter Sage, because when I watch his TEDx talk, someone can say something, but it doesn't really resonate. But him, it was just like, wow, the way he talks and the way his message just resonates with me is just like absolutely amazing. And another person, I would say Stormzy, because he just put an imprint in my career as a journalist. I think I said this before on my BBC Radio interview. But yeah, he's just amazing. The way that he's so humble. And I can also say that about Anthony Joshua as well, because I watched some of his mindset videos on YouTube, and his mindset, like, even though he's so, like, the world love him, he's the most humble guy. Well, he appears to be, because I haven't met him yet. And that's the same as Stormzy as well. These people really inspire me because it shows that they don't look at the likes. They're not here for the comments and the fame. They're here for substance, for value. Do you know what I mean? To do what they love and to impact the world. That notion is everything to me. And it's something that I'm delving into, because at first it was all about me. I'm the presenter. The light has to be on me. Everyone's at me. Oh, the lights are on me. And then I'm really trying to be like, no, this is about the people. This is about the community. This is about Garima. This is about Garima's audience. This is not all about me. Do you know what I mean? So I'm still navigating that, but those three people inspire me. And of course, there's many women that inspire me as well. My mum is amazing. Like, she's got a heart of gold. Like I don't even want to get emotional.
Does she back you?
Yeah. And I'm really fortunate. And guess what? My dad backs me. And I know you're thinking, yeah, but that's normal. But my dad.
Oh, amazing. That's so lovely. I think it's actually it's very underrated, having your parents back you.
It's so important to have your parents back in. And even if you don't, still go for it, guys. Whatever you have to do. Don't let
anything stop you. Because at the end of the day, obviously parents are going to be worried. They're going to think, what if, whatever. But I think I read a quote or something, and it was basically along the lines of, your parents will back you once they've seen the progress. I mean, don't just do all the talking. You have to do action, for sure. Yeah. If I haven't shaved, oh my God, the elbows are too... Nah, don't. So obviously you've got a YouTube channel. The most viewed video on your YouTube channel is your weight loss journey. So you lost about 20 kilos in 4 months. So do you want to tell me a little bit about that? Why did you want to lose that weight? How did it make you feel after? And a little bit about the process and how it's helped a lot of people, because obviously a lot of people have viewed that, so it's going to have a bit of an impact, isn't it?
So I lost 20 kilograms in 4 to 5 months, I would say. I was quite big. I was a size 20. So I think in America, that's a size 16, I believe.
16, yeah. I think there's 2 below us. Yeah, they are.
So 16. And then I'm now a size 12. So I think in America, that's a size 8.
Yeah. So you went down by like 3 dress sizes, 3 or 4. My maths is really... I have a maths degree and I can't even do the maths. Do you know what I mean? Oh my God.
Oh, you studied maths?
Yeah.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so obviously I've lost a bit more weight now. But yeah, I lost a lot of weight. I was just looking in the mirror. Yeah, not happy. Like, to the point where I wasn't grooming myself. Like, my hair was just different. I just didn't care about myself. I didn't love myself. I was just... And then I said to myself, I can do this. Let me lose the weight, because I want to look good to feel good. And that was my initial purpose for it. So I started to go to the gym. I started drinking water. I started YouTubing and researching what can I do. I started walking. I started the pescatarian diet. And after a month of seeing a little bit of a result, a tiny bit, that was enough to motivate me to go all the way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So guys, it's like, you might not see it at first, but once you see just a little bit of a result after your consistency, trust me, it will just spiral from there, and you'll get the body that you want.
No thinking, just doing. No thinking, just go for it. Just go for it. It will happen.
Yeah. So, and I also read books as well that helped me with my mindset. Like Atomic Habits. It taught me about the amazing book in it. Amazing.
Yeah. What's his name again? James something.
In the world. James Clear.
Yeah, there we go.
One of the best books in the world, guys. Atomic Habits will change your life, because it's so simple. Those instructions, and it's like, it's easy to do and it's easy not to do.
I think the main thing that stuck out with that book as well is literally, if you remember what he said near the start, if you improve just by 1% every day, by the end of the year, you're 37% more better. So imagine if you do 2%, 4%, a little bit every day. Consistency is key.
And do you know what he said as well? The 2-minute rule. Just do it for 2 minutes. Exercise just for 2 minutes. If you feel like you're doing too much, stop there. just 2 minutes. And then trust me, Garima, once you exercise for 2 minutes, you're going to want to go for 5 minutes. Next time, 10 minutes. It's just a mindset thing, guys. You can do it. You can lose weight. You can get your dream job. You can become the next Oprah. There's no limits to this world. We live in a friendly universe. So yeah.
Starting is the hardest part. Like you said, start those 2 minutes and then you'll see that you'll want to carry on. So for example, one thing I've started recently, it's actually part of my New Year's resolution. I'm not afraid to say that now because of what you said earlier. You know, if it's meant to be, it's me. And if I really want to do it, I'll do it. Right before the new year, I decided, you know what? I'm quite an energetic, hyperactive person. So every emotion I basically feel to a next level. So if I'm sad, I'm really sad. If I'm happy, I'm really happy. I think I talked about this in episode 3, but
I think, in one of your podcasts.
Yeah. So my dad was like, why don't you meditate? Try it. Maybe like that will help kind of calm you down a little bit, make you a bit more composed. I was like, no, do you know what, Dad, you're right. But what used to kind of, you know, I used to think of meditation as just like literally just being still for an hour or 30 minutes. And in my head, I saw that as such a huge thing. But I think also that something that Atomic Habits made really clear is just to make it as easy as possible. Make room for that in your life. So what I did was, I rearranged my bedroom so I have no excuse about not having space on the floor, made space physically, and then I made space in my head by saying, do you know what? I'm only going to meditate for a minute. Just a minute. Make it as easy as possible. Just start with a minute, increase it by 2 minutes, and now I'm able to do 5 minutes, and I'm sure I'll be able to do a bit more. So thank you. And for someone who, you know, they can't sit still and they can't really just like do nothing, it's really helpful. Another thing is, I do guided meditations. So someone's talking to me. So I'm kind of stuck there. So I think you always have to make room for yourself, and just starting is so important. Because once I did the 1 minute of meditation, I was like, I could go for another minute. You know, you just have to just start. So how did you feel after you lost all the weight? Sorry, we went on a bit of a tangent, but yeah.
It's all right. So when I lost the weight, I felt good. More pictures, more videos, more weight loss journey, reels, more everything. Like, I'm an advocate for health. So you can be plus size and be healthy. Don't get it twisted. Just because you're skinny or slim doesn't mean you're more healthy than the person who has more, you know. So, and I love a plus size. I think they rock it. Do you know what I mean? But just for me, it wasn't for me. So I felt more healthy, more re-energized, I was walking down the stairs and my mom was like, I thought that was Emma. You came down so lightly. Emma's my sister. I was like, but yeah, it's just, you just feel better. Like, it's just amazing. I'm more confident. I'm here to conquer the world.
No, of course. When you feel good, you look good, and when you look good, you feel good, and overall you do good. So I remember I messaged you yesterday. I was like, Aridja, I need advice. Like, I've got this episode out with Nadeem coming out, and I hate me in it. Like, I don't know what to do. You were giving me advice, basically. I looked so messy in that episode. My hair wasn't done, and you could just see that because I wasn't as relaxed. I was very on the edge and really, really smiling and really, really awkward, I thought. But then I was like, do you know what? The stuff Nadeem was saying was really inspiring. So I had to bring it out there and just learn from next time. It's a learning process. So now today I made sure to do my hair. Yeah. And I feel a little bit more relaxed. So I think don't ever undermine how important it is to put effort into yourself. It's not narcissistic. 100%. And if it is, so what?
It's not. So what? Like, society tells you that, but it's not, because we are visual creatures. We tend to have an opinion based on what we see before we buy, before we accept. So, like, for example, the BBC Radio London, if I went just the way I was, it wouldn't have been a great first impression. You need to make that first impression count, because you don't know who's going to view this. One day the executive of ITV can stumble upon this video. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And then they can see that you take pride in how you look and who you are, and that's amazing. So it's not narcissistic.
Yeah, I think people should be self-obsessed. I'm not going to lie.
You need to love yourself.
You need to
love yourself.
You need to, oh my God, like I said, back yourself, always, no matter what. As much as I was so prepared for that podcast and I researched Nadeem, I was so excited for the podcast, I wasn't confident in myself. It is part of self-love and self-care, because you're putting effort into yourself. As an upcoming creative, there's going to be times where, you might fall a little bit, but you have to pick yourself back up, or someone might say something negative, or, you might have experienced a rejection. Or can you tell me a little about your struggles and how you've managed to pick yourself back up?
So I had a funny comment that was sent over to me on my Snapchat, because I put my content on Snapchat Spotlight.
I follow you on that after. I haven't got you on that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Thank you. And I'll follow you back. So he said, what was it? Wait, give me 5 minutes to park my big truck in that gap tooth.
Oh,
I know, but I
wow.
felt like I made it because this is how what celebrities go through.
Oh, I see. So you that you're just like, yeah, hate comments, like, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God. Even bad press is press. Do you know what I mean?
that's
Like,
what I'm saying. It shows that you're making it. And I've got
no, of
some hate
course.
comment. Well, I've got like 3 in total. I'm not gonna lie and say I've got bare hate comments, but I've got like 3. But it's like that's one of the struggles that you get. You need to be thick skinned in this game because you're showing yourself, you're expressing yourself, and people are gonna have opinions of you.
No, of
So that's
course.
why I'm so down on self mastery and self development more than anything. Like even if I can take a break with my podcast for a year and just develop myself, I'll do that
Do
if
it.
that's the most important thing. But I'm doing it alongside it because I love
No,
what I
of
do
course.
so
Of
much.
course. Of course.
So that is one of the, a bit of but also I think it's just mentally, like when I do my research, sometimes I put too much pressure on myself to be perfect because I will get compliments from people like yourself. Oh, you're so articulate. Oh, the questions that you ask. And then I
You
have to
are.
maintain that. But I need to understand that this is innate. It's natural. It comes to me because I'm an analytical person. So it's just the balance of relaxing and yet working hard. Understand? So that mental balance.
Right.
I had some struggles in my early 20s with mental health. I don't want to delve into it because I truly believe in what you focus on is what you get. But I want to say this for people that are watching, that guys, you can come from mental homes, hospitals, you can come from a sick bed, you can come from whatever it is that is very low, depression, you can come from not to, because I know it's a bit triggering, but a heartbreak, but you can still make it out. As long as you got this, your brain, and you've got a heart and it's still beating, you can make it out. I don't know how, and I'm not going to tell you the how because it's not up to me, but God will make a way. Do you know what I mean? So I've had struggles in that, and even till now, I'm still not struggling, but I'm still trying to make myself think myself well every single day, because I can easily get into a run and think this is too much. All these, Garima, I'm getting people calling me, I'm getting people offering me things to be a part of what I'm, and it's a blessing. I'm grateful, but at the same time, it's overwhelming. It's like, what? I lived a quiet life before this. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's kind of like all these interactions, like it can be a lot. So I went to a networking seminar event, and it was for Ditto Music. And I met a lovely music producer. I asked them a question in this event. I got the mic and I was like, okay, how do you guys maintain your mental health with all that you're doing? And he said, after 9 o'clock, my phone's on Do Not Disturb. And I never thought of that. I never thought of that.
Boundaries. And also
Boundaries is
self-love.
it's so vital. So that's one thing that I try to incorporate, because it's hard, because I love social media, as you know.
No, of course. The quotes, everything's so inspiring, and I just love your energy. I said this on our first
Thank
call we've ever
you.
had. I love your energy. Anyway,
Yeah,
sorry, carry on.
thank you. No, I think you got the most sweetest energy as well.
Oh,
So
thank you.
yeah. So yeah, like I implement that now. I try to implement that because I love social media, but I need to realize I need the boundary with it. Like I can still view it, but tomorrow there's always a new day. Do you know what I mean? So it's just managing my mental, managing stressful situations, hate comments, and things like that. Really.
I was gonna say, going back to the hate comments bit, it's nice that you can laugh about it.
Oh,
Do you know what I
take it on the
mean?
chin, girl.
Because it shows the self-love. So basically, when you do feel that overwhelmed, what would you advise to people? Just turn your phone off and take time for yourself, basically.
100%. In practical terms, do that. Turn your phone off, have time for yourself, whether it's like skincare. You don't have to go and buy the most expensive skincare, even if it's just soap and water, but you're giving yourself that. Have a shower at night, and obviously the morning as well, but have a shower at night, have a bath, do what you can just to give you that self-time. Journal. And I know it's a bit cliche, but write down your thoughts and your feelings, or write down your visions for the future. Document things. Do what you love. Go with your bliss, because that's all it's about. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe that God is in the sky saying, do this, and if you're not doing this, then I'm not going to be proud of you. No, he just wants you to be happy. He wants you to fill with joy. So do what you love. If you love speaking to people on a podcast like this, then do it. Whatever it is, like, yeah. You're good at what you do as well. And I'm not trying to say that just to compliment you. You genuinely are. Like you've got, your presence allows me to open up and feel comfortable to talk to you.
I think one other thing I wanted to ask you is, recently you hit over 1K on Instagram, which is amazing.
Yeah.
I saw that. I popped up to you. I said, well done for hitting over 100K. Sorry, 1K. 100K soon come though. 100K soon come.
Oh, yeah.
And I popped up to you and you replied to me and you said, thank you so much, Garima. It took a lot of networking and engagement Can you expand on that?
It did. It took networking and engagement, replying to comments, showing gratitude on your stories. Thank you guys. Keep sharing, putting points of action calls like shares, posts, like, all that jazz. And networking, because I love networking. It's not for everyone, because not everyone is as extroverted. Not that you have to be extroverted to network, but some people find it really hard to go out there and just approach someone. And that's fair enough. But I say, like James Clear said, just start with the little things. Just enter that event. Just stand there. Just soak in the vibes. Enjoy yourself. Get your drink. Come with a friend. Have a laugh. Go home. Next time you come, someone will approach you. Next time you come, you'll be standing next to someone, so it's easy to approach them. Like, just try things like that. But for me, I'm a go-getter. I would just go up to someone and be like, hey guys, how you doing? Like, are you enjoying the event? How's it going? What's your name? What do you do? Oh, this is what I do. Do you know what I mean? So I love it. And I feel like then they're like, oh, like, we love your energy. Let me add you on socials. Let me do this. And then it's like, I don't just want the followers just to be dormant. Like, I actually want to interact with them. So if they do post something amazing, or whatever it is that they post, I will comment. Like the other guy that I met at networking event, I said, let's go out for a coffee. When are you free? Do you know what I mean? Or if someone asks me to go for coffee, I'll make sure I make time in my calendar. Do you know what I mean? It's all about continuing on that relationship so it's authentic.
No,
do you know what I mean? Because that's all I'm about, is being a real person, man. I'm not about this fakery life. Yeah. I'm a very honest person, Greenma. Like,
no, I can sense that about
me.
I can sense that. Like you've given me so much like tough love as well as encouragement, and I love that. Yeah. I love criticism. We talked about this briefly on our first call. Criticism is where you learn and grow. You should never see it as like, oh, I'm offended by that. Don't just take it on. Maybe what they're saying is like, not true. Maybe it is true. Just self-reflect and see how you can improve always.
Exactly. Sure. So yeah, networking is key, guys. Go on Eventbrite and do it.
What about engagement? What do you mean by engagement?
So engagement, I meant responding to comments and liking, or going on someone who's inspiring to you and commenting down or on their post. Then you get eyeballs on you. Retweeting or reposting what they posted, and then they follow you back because it's like, oh, thank you. Do you know what I mean? Things like that. Just being active. And it's not by force, because sometimes social media isn't for everyone, and I understand that. But if you've got a love for it, do it. And even if you don't have a love for it, you kind of have to get on it, because it's the new world that we're living in, guys. You need to have a personal brand, and it's essential in this day and age if you want to go above and beyond in the creative and entrepreneurial spaces. So
100%. Yeah. So just kind of building on that, what advice would you have for upcoming creatives or anybody who wants to invest in their dream and go for it?
I think I said this in my other video, that when I was in the studio, and the video that I uploaded onto BBC Sounds, BBC Upload, which you guys should do, by the way. Go on BBC Upload and post anything creative. It could be a picture of your work or a video. Just post it, and they can repost you, and they get a lot of views, and they can even have you on radio. So I was going to say read books and listen to motivational and videos, but you can do that for years and not take action.
Right. So you have to really want it.
Yeah, I'd say try out new things. Go to dancing clubs, go to sports clubs. If you don't know what you want to do. Start drawing, start writing, experiment in the creative fields, right? And then trust me, you're going to find something that resonates with your heart, should I say. And then you can start taking action. Before you take action, or while you're taking action, read books, listen to motivational or inspiring, uplifting content on YouTube or Spotify or wherever, and tell yourself that I am already the person that I want to be. Because Neville Goddard, who he was an author back in the 20s, I believe. In his book, Feeling is the Secret, he said, you are already that which you want to be, but your refusal to believe that is what's keeping you stuck.
Right.
Is what's keeping you not being there.
Right.
So what I would say is, say to yourself as an affirmation, I am a singer, I am a renowned artist, I am a renowned boxer, athlete, whatever it is. Say it to yourself as if it's now. Read these books, take these little increments of steps. For example, I hope I'm not going on I feel like I
No, keep going.
Yeah. So pick up that camera, pick up that mic. Don't post, just sing in the mirror or record for yourself. Keep it on your phone. When you feel ready, which you never really will, give yourself a timeline. Tell yourself in a week, I'm going to post this. Post a 2-minute video or a 30-second clip on your story at first, and then gradually go into your posts, and then a reel, and then so work on yourself while you're doing the practical work. Understand that if you open up your mind to opportunities, that's when you'll find it. Like we were talking about the RAS, the react, that thing in your brain. And yeah, just go for it, really. Like there's no limitations. That's the thing people don't understand. We live in a friendly universe. Nothing ceases to grow. Grass doesn't say, oh, I have to reach out. No, grass just grows. Water just flows. It's full of well-being. It wants you to do great. Do you know what I'm trying to say? God wants the best for you. You just need to want it. It's only us that put limitations on ourselves. So open up your mind to the opportunities and understand that we're here for a finite amount of time. You're not going to be here forever. Do you want to leave a legacy? You might not want to. Your legacy might be being a great mother, being a great father, and that's completely fine. But do you want to leave something, an imprint in this world? If not, this is not for you. But if you do, then listen to what I've just said and what Garima has said and just go for it, man. So
wow,
yeah,
that's beautiful. I'm sure that will help so many people.
I
really hope
does.
so. I really hope so. So just to kind of finish off, where can we see you later this year? Any plans for the future? Things that we need to look out for?
Do you know what? A lot of it is in God's hands. As in, I know where I want to be, but I don't know where God's going to take me. You can take me 100 folds more than what I'm thinking. I want to contact MOBOs and different festivals and do some press behind the scenes for them. I want to do some public speaking. I want to continue on hosting for different events. Right now I'm starting with a poetry event because it's a bit more calm and chilled and I feel like that's my vibe. But why not? I might just be the party star at another event once I get comfortable.
Yes, of course.
My YouTube is going to reach minimum of 10k subscribers by God's grace. Spotify is going to be lit, and I'm going to keep networking, be on TV, be on radio. I'm going to find a creative job that can be my investor into what I'm doing. I'm going to get sponsors. I'm going to, girl, I've been going for ages. I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm going to love myself so unconditionally. I'm going to make my mum proud. I'm going to buy my mum a house. Girl, let's leave it there.
Oh, I'm actually going to start crying, don't. My Pisces moon is like screaming right now. It's screaming. No, thank you so much for coming onto my podcast. That was a beautiful chat, honestly.
Yeah, I enjoy chatting to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm just so glad I reached out to you. See, I made this opportunity happen. I popped up to you and I got you on my show, and now I've had an amazing episode. That was just wow. I learned so much. That's going to help so many people. Thank you so much for your time. It really means so much, and I wish you the absolute best for the future. We'll stay in touch, of course.
Yeah,
and I'll continue to back you, and you are going places. I'm so proud of you already, and I'm so excited for your journey.
Thank you so much.
Quickly, I forgot to mention, you're doing a BBC internship, aren't you?
I want to, but I got rejected for one. But then again, they called me the next week. So
see, do you see what I mean? You still have to
do you know what I mean?
Going. Exactly. You know, Davina McCall, TV presenter, legend, amazing. She used to reach out to all of these huge TV production companies, and all of them rejected her. But then years later, every single one of those that rejected her called her back and said, "Actually, could you come present this show? Could you come help work with this?"
Amazing.
Do you see what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. That's amazing. How it works, man.
But yeah, I can't thank you enough. Everybody who's listening and watching, please, please, please subscribe to Aridja. Listen to the Aridja Kals show. It was available on Spotify. I'll link absolutely everything in the description. Shout out to your coach, Peter, because he's obviously, helped you so much. So thank you to him as well. Thank you so much. I can't thank you enough.
You're welcome. And I'm so grateful and honoured and humbled that you gave me this opportunity.
I'm humbled to have you on.
Yeah,
it's got to be weird to have you on the other side of the microphone, isn't it?
It's a bit different. But I like it. It's nice.
Yeah. Oh, love the rest of
everything.
Thank you so much. And everyone listening, I will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
All right. See you guys.